So I'm currently behind the wheel of the 2021 Audi Q5, and like normal, I'm going to showcase the interior of this thing. So starting from left to right, your normal window switches, you got door locks, door latch, you got rear mirror adjust, you got some settings for the seating if you want to have some presets. Down low, you've got your trunk latch, and you've got a 19 speaker system throughout the cabin. Up top, you've got your lighting switch for the dim levels of the vehicle as well, for the gauge cluster. Now moving to that gauge cluster, it's a nice, beautiful 12-inch Audi virtual cockpit display. So there's a couple screens that you can have, but each screen has basically two screens. So you got the big bubble gauges, as well as you push the view button on the steering, which I will show in a second. It accentuates what's in the middle versus the gauges. So basically they switch which one is more important in your face. So that's the information. So you push view, you get a little bit more information. You go over to music, you can pretty much see the whole line. And then you push the gauge and it kind of shrinks it. Phone, I don't have a phone connected, but that's what it looks like. And map is the coolest because you push view and pretty much the whole screen becomes a map. Now just bringing it back to the gauges for a second, you can see the normal tack on the left. You got the fuel gauge in the middle. Right here displays what gauge you're in, as well as the drive mode that you're in. I'm currently in the dynamic mode. The auto start stop is on, but if I push it off, it disappears. You got your time, temps below that. Over on the right, you got your speedometer. Moving back to the steering wheel, very simply, the view button is how I was changing the views up top. And over here is how you can switch between different options left and right. You can also switch in different options while on a certain screen. So for example, the driver information screen, switching between different things like consumption, memory, long-term memory, energy consumers, driver assistance. You can switch between everything. And if you're on the map screen, it zooms it in and zooms it out. Over on the right, you've got a heated steering wheel button. You got phone buttons, as well as the volume control and tuner button for the nav screen. Give you a shot of the steering wheel. Right here, you got a little trip button to reset the trip mileage. Then you've got the nice navigation screen. So right now I'm currently at the home screen. You get a little block for what you're listening to, telephone, and a little map block. But if you go over to the right, you pretty much have all the app blocks you can click on. So you got radio, media, phone, navigation, you got phone apps, you got vehicle, which when you push vehicle, it brings you a spot where you can select the drive modes. So if you click in there, you can switch between off-road, comfort, auto, dynamic, individual. Individual is where you can adjust the drive mode to what you want. Kind of like a personal mode. Efficiency assist just gives you some economic tips, things of that nature. Air conditioning, light visibility, parking aid, driver assistance, settings and service. You can change the service intervals in here and things like that. And you got favorites. So if I go back home, you got favorites. You got the overall settings of the vehicle. You can change things like, for example, the virtual cockpit. You can change between different presets, a classic, a sport, dynamic mode, and different other settings. Then you got help, users, messages, purchases, calendar, news, legal notes, and the weather. So you can see you have plenty of options to keep you busy. Below that, you got the hazards, you got your HVAC system, which nice touch material with Quattro over here going to the right to the passenger side. Below that, you've got the controls to the HVAC system. So it's got a little digital number in the middle that you adjust. And you can, I'm not even pushing down, but you can see it kind of wakes up that option just by gliding my finger across it. But if you want to increase, you go up, and decrease, go down. Features heated seats for driver and passenger. Down below that, you have where it says drive select. That is not a button. The button is actually the up and the down arrows. Now that is just a quicker option to where I showed you the drive modes up top. So if you just hit up, it pops them up quickly. Down, you could just select what drive mode you want. The auto start stop, that's where I just clicked it off to show you up on the gauge cluster. You got traction control off, you got parking sensors, you got hill ascent or descent, and you got a button to turn off the screen. You got up below that, you got a nice little cubby hole. To the left of that, you got the engine start stop button. You got a USB port, and you got your normal 12 volt, what I call a smoker port. Coming behind that, you've got a nice little cubby hole, maybe the size of like a brownie or something is the best way I can describe it. To the right of that, you've got your volume control, and you got a tuner button if you go left and right on it. Behind that, you've got a slot where I would assume a cell phone is for a cell phone, but my cell phone does not fit there, but I'm using the bottom piece of my gimbal to showcase its size. To the left of that, you've got the gear lever, so you got your normal reverse, neutral, and drive. And once you're in drive, you pull back on it again, you turn it into S mode, which is sport mode, and then you can also go over into a manual mode. To put it in the park, you push the button right here. And right here you have the parking brake switch. Behind that, you've got a nice charging mat for your cell phone, and it slides back to reveal 2 cup holders. And it also has a cubby hole hidden underneath, so regardless of what direction you slide it. And it has a USB-C port. Got your glove box. Give you a look at the speaker system I first mentioned. It's 19 speakers throughout the cabin. Give you a shot at the passenger door. The seats in the vehicle. Features a sunroof, which is the full length of the driver and passenger compartment. Sunroof controls up top, SOS button, normal lighting buttons that you're used to in normal Audi vehicles. But that is pretty much the interior of the 2021 Audi Q5. Thanks for watching.